Raw Talk is opinion-based, and everyone is encouraged to do their own research.
Welcome back to Raw Talk, and this week's question is, where is your energy going? Where are you focusing your energy at? And specifically, are you a complainer? Because there is a fine line between venting and complaining. That's what I'm going to break down on this week's episode of Raw Talk, and I'm going to cover this in a couple different sections. What I think venting is, how I feel about complaining, and then where we should be focusing our energy. So that's my main points this week. So let me dive right into venting. Venting is a healthy thing to do. Everybody should be venting, and it can be tricky because we need a safe place to do this as well. Like, there's a right time to vent about things. And honestly, we want to talk about things that they mean a lot to us. So that's why we need to vent. It is important. And the definition of venting is to give free expression to a strong emotion. So obviously, if you're feeling something deep down and it's driving you, it's pushing you forward, it's bouncing around in your head, you can't get it off your mind, you got to find a place to vent about that and talk about that because it is important. However, there is that really thin line from where I could talk about venting and easily slip into complaining about a situation. And I'm guilty of this. This is one that I wanted to bring up because it takes constant practice. Anytime that something bothers you, you walk that fine line of venting versus complaining. And how far are you going to let it go to where you're just complaining about stuff all day long, right? So that's why this one's important to bring up. So venting is healthy. It's to give free expression to a strong emotion, which we should all do that. I encourage everybody to have a place to vent, whether if it's like your family, your best friends, you pay for like somebody to listen to, all that's okay. Even a significant other you can vent to. I don't recommend that all the time because it can slip into complaining so easy, and nobody wants to be in a relationship with a complainer, negative Nancy. Okay, so let me cover a complaining now, and it's pretty clear to where this is going to go. I believe complaining is completely counterproductive. Like, if you are sitting here complaining about something, well, let me ask this. Last time someone was complaining to you about something, did they come to the table with any solutions in hand? Like, or, were they just complaining about something for hours on end for the sake of complaining? It's kind of like a gossip, right? It's like this negative gossip, poison of the mind. But the definition of complaining is to express the expression of dissatisfaction or annoyance about something. So you're just going to sit around here, be complaining, being dissatisfied and annoyed all the time, unless if you catch yourself. And there is that fine line when we are emotionally charged and we feel something about a certain subject, and venting doesn't do it. Maybe there is no solution that you can actually accomplish on something, and then you could easily lead into complaining, but that is truly a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your time. That's why I ask, where is your energy going? Are you spending all this time being dissatisfied and annoyed, aka being a big old complainer that's not being productive toward anything? Like, that is just a waste of time. So we do need to vent, though, and things can bother us, and we need to get it off our chest. So that's why it's important that I talk about this one, because there is that fine line. And so the third piece here is I want to talk about focusing our emotions and then also staying solution-oriented, because life is crazy, and we should accept our emotions. We can't just push our emotions away. We can't just push them down all the time. That's not healthy. We need to feel this life. We need to feel sad. We need to feel happy. This is part of this existence. So we need to accept these emotions, and that is part of the vent. You're accepting, you're going through like, okay, all right, I got it off my chest. Like, I feel better. And honestly, Raw Talk to me is kind of me venting about all these subjects. Like, I'm talking about it. I'm getting it off my chest because it's important to me. I have a strong emotional connection with this stuff. So a lot of this is a vent. And I could easily, during this episode, go into complaining about how people just complain and don't get anything done. But it's like when you hear complainers, they're always complaining about something. Always something. There's always something to complain about. And I'm not disagreeing. There is always something going on that I could disagree with, that I could complain about. I could focus my energy there. But what does that do for me in the long run? How do I help anybody if I'm just focused on things that bother me and annoy me? Like, you're not going to have a long-term healthy mindset if that's where you're allowing your focus to go. So that's an important piece, is we need to accept our emotions so we can vent in a healthy manner. And then we also need to stay solution-oriented. As in, if something's really bothering you that much, then make the mental change or make the physical change if it's something around you. And 9 times out of 10, if there's a problem in our lives, guess who is probably the root cause of it? I was the root cause of all my problems, for sure. For sure. So we really need to be honest with ourselves and acknowledge the truth that's happening around us. If you just are blaming people for your circumstances all the time, that's like complaining. It's your fault that you're not changing your circumstances. Everyone has the power to do this. So without getting too much into that, just wanted to keep this one short and sweet. Where's your energy going? It's healthy to vent. It's counterproductive to complain all the time. Come to the table with the solution and focus your energy. Practice it daily. I know I need to anytime something gets underneath my skin. I'm guilty of that. All the time things get underneath my skin. I just don't start complaining about it. And on that bombshell, I'm going to check y'all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in to Raw Talk. Next week is episode 5, so I'm going to have a 5-attack plan so you can take over anything, any obstacle in your life. Much love. Thank you so much for participating.